Hi everybody, it's great to be back here again tomorrow. Wow, it has been too long. I missed you all. I'm sorry, we were on a speaking tour in the United States and I wanted to get a lesson out. It just didn't work out. It was very difficult traveling and speaking in different areas. And of course we do this once in a while and it's very important for our outreach work abroad across the world to make, to let people know what's going on here in Israel and the importance of being involved and it's an important mission. So please forgive me for not being able to get a lesson out. And maybe next time I can actually prepare lessons in advance and pre-tape them, whatever it is. I do miss you all and I'm happy to be back in the land. It's an amazing feeling. Wow, when you're living in Israel and you return, wow, your whole soul is revived when you enter the land, you return to the land. It was a very special trip, very unique experiences as well. Maybe I can tell about it some other time, a little more details. But more stories that come up as we give lessons, maybe we'll talk about it. Coming back to Itamar has been, of course, fantastic. The Shabbat, I wanted to get a lesson as well yesterday on Friday, but we got back Thursday night and jet lag set in, getting ready for Shabbat, and the whole family and everyone wanted to say hello. Just time ran out. So here I am on Saturday night trying to get a lesson out. We'll see how that goes. We had quite a rough Shabbat here. 4 terrorists tried to enter the community. It's been part of many incidents which have taken place in the last few months. And here, miraculously, the army, together with our response team, was able to stop these terrorists. Who knows what they wanted to do, and thank God they were caught. And this is so close to the Fogel Memorial, which is coming up in a couple of weeks, and Tamar Fogel's here for Shabbat. Really wasn't a good atmosphere in that way. We feel we're constantly struggling. The world's pressuring more and more come against Israel, and here Israel's constantly struggling in its security. So please pray for us and be with us and stand with us, support us, of course, in this difficult time. I'd like to just get right down to our Torah lesson. This week's portion is called Ki Tisa. We know it's central and it's famous for the sin of the golden calf. But I want to focus today on a different area. I want to focus on something. I'd like to begin with a verse in Jeremiah. If you look in Jeremiah, in the beginning of Jeremiah, verse 4, chapter 1, verse 4, Jeremiah, God tells him that before you were formed in the womb, I already knew you. I already prepared you for a purpose of life. And Isaiah, if you look in Isaiah as well, talks in a similar way that God, Korei Dorot Mirosh, I think it's Isaiah 42, God calls the generations in the beginning. He calls the shots in the beginning. Meaning that there are certain souls in this world that have a purpose. And God already plans it in advance. He plants these souls in the world to do certain things, to make things happening. It's all part of the redemption process of the world, to get the world rolling forward, moving forward. And He needs us to act. And He plants these special souls in the world for these purposes. This connects very, very powerfully to this week's portion regarding Bezalel, the architect of the tabernacle. God says to Moshe Rabbeinu, to Moses, He says, Re'eh, Natati, and behold, I've given Bezalel, to be the architect of the tabernacle. This again, language is a little strange. I've called Bezalel. And the Midrash brings down, I've called Bezalel from the beginning of time, which means this is a special soul that is here from the beginning of time, that he has a job of building the tabernacle. Now, the Ramban, Nachmanides, talks about this, and he brings out a beautiful explanation by saying that, think about it. We just got out of Egypt, and how are we supposed to know how to deal with building intricate? We were all involved in building pyramids or building stonework and working with clay, etc. But we weren't experts in dealing with gold and silver and copper and very fine, intricate details of the tabernacle. That's something that requires tremendous skill and training. And here, Moshe Rabbeinu was told to build this tabernacle, and he saw it all in the spiritual world, but now you have to bring it down to practice, and who's going to do it? Who knows this kind of work? And God reassured him, don't worry about it. I prepared someone way in advance, in the beginning of time, a special soul, who's going to have this calling, and he's going to do it, although he was never trained. So some people we see that all around us. A lot of times we have a natural calling, a natural ability to do something, and we don't know where it came from, right? It's within us. We never trained, we never studied. Great musicians, great athletes. This is natural. It's a natural, how do we say, tendency to have a natural direction, a calling within them that allows them to achieve their great heights. With a little training, with a little this, they can go very, very far. And this proves that there's something called a calling, right? That God is a great part of us that has a natural direction. Every person is unique in this world and has that calling. And of course the question is, where does free will come into place? If God is saying in advance, I've called Jeremiah to be the prophet, and I've called Bezalel to be the architect, and I've called this, etc., all these individuals in the world for their special callings, is there free will? This is something that must be done. I mean, of course the tabernacle had to be built. But the free will comes to play, yes, of course it does, because that's one of our principles. Do not contradict. Right? Torah principles cannot be contradictory. So the fact is, in one hand, God plants souls in the world, yes, but on the other hand, we do have free will. And how does this work? Is that these great souls have to come down to earth and attach themselves to human beings, to physical bodies, right? The spiritual world, we're talking about in the spiritual frame, there is a Bezalel, there is a Moses, there is a Jeremiah, right? All these spiritual souls up there. But a person in this world who has different, we speak about 5 spiritual parts of his soul, and as he grows slowly, he's being able to attach himself. He attaches himself to higher spiritual levels. He could reach that high level, his highest spiritual potential. But he has to do the work in order to reach that. So Bezalel, this great individual, if he didn't live up to his inner potential, his soul, it would have come to be that there would be a different person actually who would be Bezalel. You following? That's an important concept to understand. We see this even with Moses in the desert, Moshe Rabbeinu, where in the middle of the whole story of coming out of Egypt and taking the people out, all of a sudden the Torah interrupts, telling how he didn't hurry to circumcise his son, and his wife had to do it. He was almost killed. When he was almost killed, he wanted to actually kill Moshe Rabbeinu. What would happen if he wasn't here? Would we be redeemed? Of course we would. It would be a different Moshe Rabbeinu, someone else who would achieve that great soul level. And that's to understand. We're talking now on the frame when God is talking in the beginning of time. I've prepared these souls. He's talking on the spiritual level. These souls exist in the spiritual level, but of course we in this world have to live up to that calling. That's in order for us to touch. Otherwise, that spiritual level could easily move over to another individual that lives to that calling. So in potential, there could be a few different people, right, that may gain that great soul, and maybe that great soul that was spoke about in the beginning of time. But if they don't work towards it and they don't do the work, they're not going to achieve that goal. And of course, this connects to every one of us on a personal level, because every person in this world has a certain calling. We all have a calling to do something in this world. And I'm sure if you think about yourself, what have you done so far in this world, the things that you do, the things that you are guided to, you have a calling. But you have to live up to it. And the more you live up to your calling, the more you strive to do the right thing, God will send more spiritual energy and give you more spiritual power to go and achieve that special goal that you want to achieve in life. And therefore, a person should always try to be spiritual sensitive to his inner self and really get to know who he really is. A lot of times you say, who are you? Right? You look at myself, what am I, this flesh here? This even you're looking at an individual, who am I really? And obviously it's a spiritual thing, it's a soul within us, who we really are. And that's our true entity, and we have to try to tap into it and connect to that. And we shouldn't get caught up in all kinds of mundane things that take us away, which is very easy to pull us away from getting to our inner, knowing ourselves. I just read something very interesting on Shabbat, a little pamphlet. I just when I sit in the synagogue, I finally got back. They were just waiting there, waiting there in front of me. And wow, I figured, something. This is an important thing. This connects to. I just thought of it now. It connects to what we're saying. Someone wrote about the beauty of Shabbat, and he wrote about during the 6 days of the week. A person is so involved in his mundane, world. He's working, he's doing things, and all of a sudden everything stops. The clock stops Erev Shabbat right before Shabbat comes in, and then we have to completely separate ourselves from all these busy, the hustle and bustle of the world, and we can focus really on our inner selves, right? And then we get to know ourselves much more. We can really hear, this connects what I'm saying, I can add to it, we can hear our inner calling on Shabbat. It allows us to really connect with our souls and not be completely, fogged up with all kinds of tasks that we must do, everyday tasks that involve ourselves, that we have to get involved in, like working and all kinds of things. But on the other hand, they take us away from really getting to know ourselves and know our inner calling and live up to that calling. But anyway, here we are. Let's work this week. Let's all think about why God sent us to this world. What is our true calling? And how can we find that calling? And how can we go about striving to reach our potential in this world? Anyway, it's been so good to be back again. And let us touch base very soon. And thank you for being patient with me. I got a few letters there, people saying, "Where are you? Where are your lessons?" They really were interested in the thought, God forbid something happened. Where are you? But anyway, here we are. We're back. So welcome back. I mean, I'm happy to be back. Okay, have a great week. It's Saturday night here in Israel. Okay, Shavua Tov. Bye.